In a moment, I'll be joined by legal expert Robert Barnes to walk through an incredible week in court decisions that will not just affect attempts to use lawfare to destroy Donald Trump's candidacy, but also the ability of the U.S. government and their bureaucrats to decide that they know what's best for the government and the economy. Now, one of the cases the Supreme Court decided involved a legal doctrine called Chevron deference. Now, it's a complicated term, but it basically means that under this policy, bureaucrats were allowed to write whatever rules they wanted, and courts would defer to them if they, the bureaucrats, not the judges, said they were legal. Yep, okay, we'll give you the tick. Well, that's all out the window now, and thank God, because Chevron deference was a terrible doctrine decided 40 years ago that has not only wreaked havoc on the American economy, but tilted it in favor of big companies with the ability to comply with and lobby for regulations that are more favorable to them, while making life more difficult for the little guy and everybody else. Now, you'd think this would be a win, right? Yeah, except, oddly, to the left. Here's what one unhinged TikToker had to say.
Do you enjoy flying in an airplane and being reasonably certain that it won't plummet out of the sky, killing you and everyone else aboard? Well, say goodbye to that peace of mind, because the Supreme Court is now in charge of the Transportation Administration.
That's funny. I thought it was DEI programs at Boeing that were threatening the safety of air travel, but I digress.
The problem is, and I want to be very clear about this, companies want nothing more than to put asbestos in your drinking water. They would do it while dancing a little jig if it allowed them to save $1.50. And companies have the right to sue federal regulatory agencies to overturn the regulation that says they can't do that. In essence, to be allowed to put asbestos in your drinking water.
Yes, love that tasty asbestos water. Can't get enough. So here's the great contradiction here. The same people who keep claiming that the courts are being gutted by the right also simultaneously scream that the courts being able to have some oversight of unelected bureaucrats is somehow the end of the republic. Please, someone, make it make sense. Here's the problem, though. It gets down to this. You know, that our democracy crowd we talk about, they have for the past 8 years, and in fact really longer, believed that the law means whatever they say it means, and that obstacles like the Constitution and the Supreme Court, which judges whether things are indeed constitutional, are just roadblocks. Hence the huge campaign that has been going on for years now to delegitimize the court, now that it no longer has a majority of justices who just make stuff up. But again, for the slow kids from TikTok and the Washington Post at the back of the class, Congress makes laws, the courts interpret them. Bureaucrats don't get a say in the process. Oh, and one more thing. Asbestos in drinking water? Well, according to the WHO, it's no big deal. Cheers.